Jadi teman-teman wartawan, ini tamunya, the guest is most are journalists. You know why? Even you move the mountain, but if there is no journalist, nothing happen. Nah, jadi menurut saya kehadiran para wartawan, jurnalis itu sangat penting di dunia ini. Jadi saya sangat apresiasi atas dukungan Anda semua selama ini. Dan pada hari ini tentu saja ini adalah langkah yang besar. Seperti kita ketahui, Bapak Prabowo, Presiden kita, itu sangat mendukung bahwa Indonesia harus maju, dan PDSI, bela NKRI, bela kesejahteraan Indonesia untuk dunia, itu kami jalankan. Dan kita ketahui perkumpulan dokter seluruh Indonesia sangat mendukung health tourism dan mendukung pemerintah. Kami tidak pernah berdemo untuk pemerintah. Kalau ada yang tidak cocok, kami akan datang dan berbicara, diskusi dari hati ke hati. Dan itu karena ketua kami seorang jenderal yang luar biasa dalam memimpin organisasi ini. Ya, tepuk tangan dulu untuk Jenderal. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Eugene, I know you fly so far away from Lugano to come to Indonesia through Singapore, dan kami juga menunjukkan kepada Dr. Eugene, kami punya private jet company, sehingga kami ajak terbang dari Singapura ke Jakarta dengan private jet. Dan terima kasih juga akhirnya dapat job. Swiss Stem Cell Biotech akan menggunakan private jet dari Aero Queen and Skype untuk menjadi kolaborasi perusahaan yang ada di Switzerland nanti. Jadi kita dapat 2 kue ya. Nah, kita base-nya di Singapura, tapi kita juga punya base di Dubai ya, Dubai dan Abu Dhabi. Jadi kita bisa menerbangkan pasien. We can fly your patient from Lugano, from Russia, if they want to, or if they want to fly to in Singapore and fly with private jet to come to Jakarta, and they don't want to go by car, they can land it on our penthouse with helicopter, with chopper. Nah, jadi bisa, tapi kecil-kecil aja tempatnya, tapi cukup ya. Ini show bahwa di dunia ini tidak ada limitasi. Pada hari ini, pada acara Memorandum of Agreement dari Swiss Stem Cell Biotech and BioViva Science and Celltech and World Council, saya mengucapkan selamat. I like to congratulate you, Dr. Eugene. Yesterday, we already do the test. Kita melakukan tes alergen, kita melakukan MRI. I already have permission Dr. Durenard to mention that kita collaboration with the National Defense Hospital. Jadi MRI-nya dilakukan di National Defense Hospital, tapi tindakannya tadi dengan Dr. Langga, dokter Indonesia, dan dipantau oleh dokter-dokter kita semuanya lancar. Dan Mr. Eugene sekarang sudah 15 years younger than yesterday when you were Sekian sambutan dari saya, dan saya berharap kita semua yang ada di sini, itulah tugas anti-aging internasional, karena Cici Faramida, siapa yang nggak kenal ya? Bulan Merindu. Ya, Cici Faramida is a very famous singer. She's a diva. And she became an anti-aging icon in the World Congress in Paris many years ago. And actually I have many, but the international one is the Cici Faramida. That's why she's on duty today. Thank you for coming. And ladies and gentlemen, all the doctor, Pak Ketum, thank you very much. Mari kita sama-sama membangun Indonesia. Mari kita bantu pemerintah dengan berita-berita yang memberikan semangat. Karena sudah cukup apa yang ada di Gaza, peperangan di dunia tentu menyakitkan. Tapi saya memilih untuk terus develop, helping the patient, develop the technology, do the right one. That's why, because I want to do the right one, that's why I want trustable sources, which is from BioViva Science, Swiss Stem Cell Biotech, and also RIU. Karena apa? Kita harus melakukan hal yang baik, benar, tervalidasi. Kenapa saya memilih berpartner dengan yang dari Switzerland? Mereka one of the first in the world. Jadi menurut saya sangat bagus, dan pusat untuk gen terapi sudah 22 FDA approved, right? 22 gen terapi. Dulu gen tidak bisa diubah, ternyata gen bisa diubah. Ya, yang FDA approve ada 22, yang lain bisa buat rejuvenation for the muscle. Dan Dr. Liz Elizabeth Paris adalah satu wanita pertama 2015 mengalami yang namanya gene therapy. Beliau sudah mencoba, dan I met him in UK pada saat saya menjadi speaker. dan nanti ada si kembar, itu ponakannya Pak Jajang, itu yang melakukan genetic test. Jadi di Vinski Tower akan dibangun pusat genomik, tapi simpan aja, itu berita nanti ya. Karena nanti hari ini harus fokus sama ini, dan fokus pada orang Switzerland aja mau stem cell ke Indonesia. Tapi nanti kalau saya stem cell di Swiss, gak usah marah ya, karena kan kita ganti-gantian. Jadi sekarang bukan zaman competition atau apa, tapi zaman kolaborasi, kompetisi untuk bisa berkolaborasi lebih baik. Mari bangun Indonesia, mari bela NKRI, mari dukung Presiden kita Bapak Prabowo, jangan bikin sakit kepala. Mari kita mendukung. Salam sehat untuk semua. Semoga semua yang hadir di sini diberikan rezeki berkah oleh Allah Maha Kuasa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya serahkan pada yang tidak bisa diganti-ganti, Ibu Ade sama Ibu Jajang.
Terima kasih Prof atas sambutan yang hangat dan penuh dengan inspirasi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to hear remarks from Dr. Eugene Durenard. Please come forward to the podium, Dr. Eugene.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be here with you today in Jakarta in the Vinski Tower. I've had a fantastic experience yesterday and today in being treated at the highest level of care and professionalism by the team of Dr. Vinski and by Dr. Vinski herself. So thank you so much for such a fantastic experience from which we will learn to bring such quality of care to Europe. So thank you so much. So I wanted to take this opportunity to give you a little bit of an overview of our collaboration, which already has started and that will continue, so that we can explain why we're together and what we're building together with Dr. Vinski. So, and in fact, this is a collaboration with between Dr. Vinski's cell-tech stem cell with three companies, which are, in fact, the two Swiss companies which I'm directly involved with, which is RIU, Swiss Stem Cell Biotech, and BioViva, which is the company in the US that is run by Elizabeth Parrish, but with whom we are working together, and I'm actually on her advisory board as well. She unfortunately could not come today because she is, in fact, in the process of flying to Dublin to speak at a conference organized by Aubrey de Grey. You probably know Aubrey de Grey as a very big figure in the longevity and the anti-aging space. So she sends her apologies. So in terms of, so what do we do? We actually have a very similar setup in Switzerland to what Dr. Vinski has built here in Indonesia. We do have clinics and clinical partnerships, such as this one, and such as Dr. Deby has with the big hospital, the military hospital that I had the pleasure to visit yesterday, which was fantastic. This clinic and the clinic in the Hyatt. We also have several clinics in clinical partnerships in other European countries than Switzerland, such as Spain, Republic of San Marino, and soon Italy as well. So we have also Swiss Stem Cell Biotech, which actually is the cryobank, is the biobank that started already 20 years ago, and focuses on both banking and production of tissue-based therapies at a very high level, such as Dr. Vinski has here in Jakarta, with full GMP, GLP certifications, which are very, very important. And I'll tell you why we think this, is it okay? Why? A bit closer, yeah. Thank you, yes. What maintaining the quality of the technological quality. I think maybe we have.
Oh yeah, change with the new one.
Yeah. I think it's the battery.
They need the stem cell, not yet.
It needs electronic stem cells, exactly, yes. Maintaining the quality of, it's not just maintaining the quality of care, such as is the highest here, but also maintaining the technological edge of the production and manipulation of tissues, because this is very different from general pharmacology. You're speaking about live tissue. It has to be handled at the very highest level of quality. So in that sense, our institutions are very similar, and we are focused on innovative therapies and innovative medicines that we feel are the medicines of the future. So let me tell you a little bit about that. And essentially, one of our goals is to build a bridge between institutions of the very highest quality, between Asia, which is represented by Dr. Deby Vinski and Celtech Stem Cell, and Europe, and also the US. As you mentioned in your speech, our goal for our patients, one of the goals for our patients worldwide, is to provide the highest quality of care. And unfortunately, that highest quality of care is not allowed in every single country. You have still very big jurisdictional, I would say, differences between Europe, US. Indonesia is one of the most open countries in the world, thanks to the work that you have been all doing here, sitting in the front row. And I congratulate you on such great progress, because this is what we miss in Europe. For example, Switzerland is a much more open country than the rest of Europe, and that's why our base and our home base is there. We're obviously trying to bring those technologies in other countries, but the bureaucracy and the I would say the lack of it's hard to move the mountain, as you say. So someone needs to do it. So in the innovation, we're focused on I would say 3 classes of therapies. Cell therapies that I've done today, thanks to Dr. Vinski's professionalism, which involve stem cells. They involve also secretomes, exosomes, and things like that, which are essentially focused on regenerating some of the tissues in our body in a very natural way, in a very biological way. We're talking about gene therapies, which is actually modification of the gene expression in your body, both for specific diseases, which are monogenetic diseases, but also for prevention. And I'll talk a little bit about that more. And then also talking about prevention, we're also very focused and interested in developing together therapy treatments. They're not, you can't call them really therapies, because but there are more treatments focused on prevention and wellness. So the preventative medicine angle is very important, and it's increasing in importance throughout the world, simply because the economics of not preventing are becoming extremely dire in some countries, which where the budget deficits related to essentially medical expenses are extremely high. If you look at the US, for example, that's one of the cases. So let's talk about specifics now. So gene therapies, as I mentioned, they have this is one of the next frontiers, which BioViva and Elizabeth's company in the US is at the forefront of development. So Deby mentioned there are about 20 or so therapies that have been approved in the world for specific monogenic diseases, such as sickle cell disease, some dystrophia, Duchenne, etc., etc. The issue right now with those therapies is that they're exceedingly expensive. They all range from $1 to $3 to $4 million. So this is not a scalable, unfortunately, scalable thing. What what we're hoping with our collaboration is that the input costs, i.e. the process costs of such therapies to prepare them will be much lower, or could be made lower, with a lot of work. Here, for example, in Indonesia, thanks to the GMP facilities that you have access to, than what they are in the Western world right now, which they've been approved by the FDA, by the EMA, by the Japanese, and there are some other ones, but the main ones are exceedingly costly. And one of our goals is to work together to actually reduce those costs. To have higher access for the population. And secondly, the second class of gene therapies is focused on more prevention, because now the science is treating much more aging as a disease, not as a fate. There are ways to actually measure what are the I would say things or processes that essentially reduce their efficiency, efficacy is reduced with time, and that creates obviously effects on the systemic effects on the body that are essentially what we call aging. And in this, BioViva is one of the world leaders. Behind that stand Liz and her team. I mean, a part of it is coming from Harvard University in the US. So very high-end, credible team that has been developing a variety of preventative gene therapies for reducing the speed of aging. So this has taken about 3 or 4 of them already for different gene expressions, such as, for example, muscle strength, renal function, brain function, and some other ones that, and also the maintenance of healthy genome within the cells through the telomerase shortening, the telomere shortening, which is then creates a lot of errors in the as you age, and the cells essentially become senescent cells from that, and then you die, which is not good. So that is in some senses a different market from the monogenetic cell therapies, because they are preventative, right? Now, having said that, there is a very big growing demand for such therapies in the world, right? But there is only 2 or 3 jurisdictions where you can do that. And we're hoping, and those jurisdictions are not necessarily easy to access for everyone, especially for people from the Asian hemisphere, because those are all happening in Mexico, Costa Rica, and stuff like that. It's great already that they're happening. We're all very happy about that. However, we would love to have also, create a point of access in the hub here in Indonesia for this. And this, we think, will generate a really strong medical tourism from creating that opportunity. So the third class of therapies, and the final one that I wanted to comment on, is really about prevention, specifically for, and we call them at RIU in Switzerland, we call them healthy mind and a healthy body, right? So it's not just about your body to function well, but also it's the attic, as they say, that need to that need to be okay. And so and in fact, Dr. Vinski, when she came to see us in Switzerland a few months ago, already experienced one such therapy by one of our very high specialist neurologists, doctors, Dr. Deby, who were arranging to come to Indonesia in the near future to bring his knowledge and his protocols for the transcranial magnetic stimulation, but also specific supplementation, which is focused on the gut-brain axis, which is a very important thing. So probiotics, essentially therapy that helps to restore the correct communications between your bacteria in your gut and the brain. Finally, with Swiss Stem Cell Biotech, we would like to create also a new line of products with Dr. Deby, which is focused on the next generation of therapies that are based on cell therapies and based on what is called the induced pluripotent stem cell reprogramming. This is something that has been done already. This is not yet mainstream, but some diseases such as diabetes type 1, some very nasty diseases such as, for example, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, and MS. Our colleagues right now have phase 2 trials or starting phase 2 trials to treat patients in that way. And the way that it works, in fact, initially it's got a Nobel Prize for Dr. Yamanaka from Japan, who got the Nobel Prize for the reprogramming of different cells in your body into induced pluripotent stem cells. So you go essentially down a tree of phenotype, and then you can go back up another branch. So you take your blood, you transform it into induced pluripotent stem cells, and then you can transform them into, for example, beta islet-like cells. This two patients have been treated successfully in China last year for diabetes type 1. So those are very, very important things. So in that context, Swiss Stem Cell Biotech has started an initiative last year, and we would like to bring that initiative also to Jakarta, which is to essentially already start storing from people blood and or prepared blood, let's put it that way, for the future, and essentially create from your own younger cells, and it doesn't need to be stem cells, it could be blood or skin biopsy, etc., and essentially store it so that those cells can then be reprogrammed into whatever tissue you need in the future to essentially cure you from a particular disease, or at least help stabilize that disease. And this is a project that's called Eternacell within Swiss Stem Cell Biotech, and we will be delighted to essentially have a joint program here in Indonesia through that. Yes. So in conclusion, our collaboration is really focused on this cross-breeding of technologies, especially of bringing also, I would say, creating a network of trusted, very high quality medical services in the world. So Indonesia is one big hub, because here you have a great location for a lot of people to come from the southern hemisphere, from the northern hemisphere. We're in Switzerland, are also kind of in the middle of Europe, so those are very good places to have. We also are, our goal is really to innovate for our patients. This is, I think, is the driving force and the passion that we have both, and our colleagues, of course, have in helping patients with the new medicines and the access to new medicines, thanks to people like yourselves who have worked so hard to open your jurisdiction to innovation that works and to which other jurisdictions are closed for whatever bureaucratic or whatever reason that they find to excuse themselves not to actually innovate as fast, right? That is the problem that we have. And we are actively investing. Our groups are actively investing. We invest into innovation. You invest into innovation. Swiss Stem Cell Biotech invests into innovation. We're constantly trying to be at the edge of science and to be the best in what we do, or at least the best in what we develop for the future, to open up that future. So for this, one concluding remark is that in the world, for regenerative medicine, which is the medicine of the future, we do need standard protocols at a very high level of quality, from a technological prospect, from a patient selection prospect, from a patient care and therapy prospect, and also from the prospect of post-therapy observation and data collection. So this is part of our MOA, is to also collaborate together on this data collection and creating this data set, which is then very important for the acceptance, the general acceptance of those therapies from a statistical significance perspective. That's from the government insurance perspective, private insurance perspective, etc. Because our goal ultimately is to bring those therapies to a much wider set of population, which are expensive right now. But the only way to reduce those costs is to have them essentially recognized as a standard of care by the authorities. And for this, we need to all together create this statistically significant sets on the same inputs. If you have different inputs, then you have different outputs, of course. But if you have the same inputs, then you can compare the outputs and then have a sense of the efficacy of those therapies. So this is my speech. I also understand that we have some questions that or we can do later. Okay. So I wanted again to thank you very much for your hospitality and look forward to continue the great collaboration in the future. Thank you.